Hello, hello. Every time I try to put the title of my live in the comment, my Instagram glitches, a glitch in the matrix. But I want to come on to talk about the importance of you stop relying on the 3D circumstances. So what I want to share, I got something on my hat here. Drives me crazy. What I want to share is that what you're seeing in the world outside of you is simply because of your past thoughts and beliefs about you. The 3D is the last to catch up, and you are a multi-dimensional being, right? You're a spiritual being having a human experience. You get to experience what life is in the 3D world, but because you are more than just your body and your senses and your mind, it's important to understand that you are not who you may be in this very breath. You may not be in the next breath, and that's fine. You are constantly evolving, and God, universe, spirit, whatever lexicon you want to use that honors the true divine source of where you came from, is always working behind the scenes. It's up to you whether or not you have faith that even though you can't sense it right now with your 5 senses that has reflected, that crow agrees, that has reflected back to you in this 3D world, what you're experiencing right now is because of your past beliefs. So I want you to ask yourself, is what you're experiencing right now, has it evolved from where you were maybe a couple months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever? If yes, it's because you have been focusing on your mindset. You've been focusing on becoming this blessed version of you, and the 3D can only relay that back to you and reflect that back to you. What you're witnessing right now is a true reflection of how you genuinely feel about yourself in terms of your more dominant thought about yourself. So if you're beating yourself up because your business isn't where you want it to be yet, or the person that you're calling in isn't in your life, if the money in your bank account isn't where you want to be, who is that version of you who has the relationship that they desire? Who is that version of you that has the amount of money in the bank account that they desire? Who is that version of you who is healthy that they desire? Who is that version of you that has the business that they desire? It's up to you to start to become that version of you now. What are their habits? How are they talking to themselves? What are their ways of being? Who are the people they surround themselves with? If you're surrounding yourself with people who are doubting you, who don't believe in you, who are only offering breadcrumbs to you, you deserve so much more than that. You're worthy of so much more than that. And it's up to you to start valuing yourself better, to be like, I don't need you in my life if you're not respecting me. But guess what? They may also be reflecting to you that you haven't been respecting yourself. Harsh truth, right? I want you to understand that it's up to you to make that change. No one outside of you is going to change. And it isn't about having people outside of you change to make you comfortable, because then you're giving away your power to someone outside of you. It's about you changing so that your 3D world, your reality, will only reflect to you what you believe about yourself, how you value yourself, how you choose to respect yourself. The inner creates the outer. So I have been doing these walks lately, and I've been recording what I'm calling these walk talk series, where I'm recording downloads that I'm getting to just empower you to embody your truth. We go on the healing journey so that we can embody who we truly are. The healing journey is about shedding the layers of who we're not that have been programmed and conditioned to us from something or someone outside of us, and has where we once were, how we treated ourselves, how we took care of ourselves, how we valued ourselves. We're shedding all that. You have sometimes, if we're not taking the initiative to make that change, sometimes the only way we can really start to make that change is to get bitch slapped to make the change. I can tell you from experience, I had to have multiple seizures to recognize where I was still hooked in and trapped in thoughts and beliefs of my past that I continuously gave away my power to. I keep saying I don't believe that these seizures have been seizures. I feel like they've been more exorcisms, because every time after I have one, I'm going through a huge radical change in my life and in my reality. And it's because I have new neurons being fired in my brain. I'm not relying on the 3D to validate myself. I'm going within and talking with God and talking to myself and taking that responsibility. This out here is just something I get to experience, but it's not the end all be all, because this out here can change. I want you to stop relying on the 3D circumstances to validate whether or not you're worthy, to validate whether or not you're on the right path. You have to believe you are. And it's not even a belief, but it's like a deep inner knowing. And you need to stay persistent in that. You need to keep respecting yourself with that. You need to keep honoring yourself with that. And when you do, and it's like, you can't run like a marathon if you haven't trained for this marathon. It's the same thing with your mind. You have to start training your mind and your beliefs and your habits. You have to strengthen that muscle to start to be confident in what you are ready to experience, what you're ready to manifest, what you're ready to actualize. It's persistence. It's about not quitting at the 11th hour. It's about when the going gets tough, you keep going. And if you're finding yourself needing support, make sure you're reaching out to your soul squad, people who see you, people who get you, people who are there to encourage you. And again, not everyone may understand what you're navigating through, because it's not their divine assignment to understand. They don't have the same awareness, the same depth of understanding, and that's okay. Just be mindful of how you speak to them, or if you have them in your life, and be aware of, maybe there's certain friends you talk about one thing, and another friend, where is there relatability that you can have an equal reciprocity in the relationship. Those are all things that I've had to really learn throughout my journey, because not everyone that's been in my friends group, for instance, understands the same depth of the spiritual awareness that some of my other friends have, and that's okay. I don't judge them, but I also know not to lean on those people, because I don't feel necessarily seen or heard or understood. So why would I put that energy on someone else or look for that support if you can't offer support to someone if you haven't experienced it before? And that's the big thing I really want you to understand. You can't be there for someone. Well, you can, share your kindness and prayers or whatever, but that real support really comes from someone who's been there, someone who sees you, someone who understands you. And that's where we really feel like we're not alone in the journey. So I wanted to come on to let you know that you're not alone on your journey. I really am here to catalyze you to embody your truth. That's what sovereign embodiment is all about. And I can tell you, after what I've navigated through with this seizure journey the last 3 years, I'm so fueled right now to help people recognize that their healing journey, whatever challenges they may be going through, it's only temporary if they believe it, but they have to start shifting their mindset. And it took me to have a seizure experience, clearly something with my brain, to help bring more awareness and understanding and compassion around mindset. So I'm here for you. If you want to dive in deeper to recognize who you are, I invite you to check out Thrive. I'm going to start a live group experience of Thrive at the end of April. But right now, if you want to invest in it, you can, and you can get an invitation to join the group coaching call if you want to start to dive in. I'm also upgrading all of that content. You can check out sabrinariccio.com/thrive for that. But again, I want to help you transform your pain into purpose and help you realize that, like, yeah, what we get to see and sense when in the 3D reality is a gift, but it's not the end all be all. There's so much more, and it's up to you to really start tapping into your imagination and honing in on the feeling of who you want to be, what you want to experience, what you're here to unleash, and give yourself the opportunity to feel into that and really recognize and address who is that version of you who's actualized what they desire, and start taking the initiative today. So for me, I want to be a speaker. I want to be a TED Talk speaker. So obviously I'm going to keep practicing speaking. And this is something that comes very naturally to me because I'm a speaker. This is what I do. So I'm going to keep persisting in speaking and sharing my truth and sharing my story so that I can prepare for when I get to be a TED Talk speaker. So that's just an example of, you need to start persisting now on who is the you want to experience in the near future, and who is to tell you can't experience what you desire. Then you're giving away your power. 1 and 2, you don't need to listen to those people and allow that to be the truth. You are a sovereign being, and this is your reality, so make the most of it. But anywho, thanks so much for being here with me. Stop relying on the 3D circumstances. Start believing in yourself. Start valuing yourself. Refuse to accept breadcrumbs from anyone, including yourself. And let me know how this resonated with you, and we'll chat soon. Take care. Sanam.